Hi, and welcome to another Simplex podcast. Today we are talking skin, and we are sitting here with Christy. Hi.
Hey.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your routine and your day to day?
Sure. Yeah, so I work in tech, and obviously that's a very stressful environment, and that tends to have a negative effect on my immune system as well as my skin over time. Obviously, with high levels of cortisol in your system, it does have a negative impact on my skin as well. So yeah, I'm just looking for ways to improve my skin and just overall health in general, to help manage a stressful environment that I work in.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know what skin type do you have?
I think it's dry sensitive. Yeah. So I have like basically a T-zone with dry patches on my face. Yeah.
And how did you find that out? What process did you go through to really understand and identify your skin?
Yeah. I just struggled to find products that work. Because obviously when you have that kind of combination situation happening, it's hard to manage one. So like you work with the one which is dry, then it impacts the other side that's more sensitive. Work with the sensitivity, then your skin gets dry. So I think a dermatologist helped me figure out that setup. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you actually had to go and visit a professional to go and figure out your skin, to understand your skin.
Yes.
Did you have any signs of your skin being sensitive? How did you experience it? Was it red? Was it sore?
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of redness that happens in my cheeks when I get, obviously the stress levels aggravates this problem over here. But it's just generally sensitive in the touch as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That also happens with stress, right?
Yeah.
And how do you manage this? Because obviously you work in tech, so I'm imagining you behind a computer,
Yes.
in closed doors,
Yes.
looking over at a screen.
Yes.
Tell me, how do you manage that stress? What do you do for your well-being?
Well, I'm into music, funny enough.
Nice.
So I do play, I've got a piano at home, so just playing music helps to calm me down as well, just to help bring cortisol levels down. Just trying to relax, find ways to relax to help bring the cortisol levels down so that I don't get so reactionary with the stress, obviously. Yeah.
That's interesting. When you say you're reactionary, the stress makes you almost triggered, like.
Yeah, it does. I tend to have, when I get into like a high anxiety space, I obviously get the redness in the face. I actually get like a bit of I think they call it rosacea.
Yes, rosacea.
Rosacea. And that is not a pleasant experience. I get like a lot of heat in the face from that reaction.
And it's interesting. It's from anxiety that you see your skin reacting. Yes. So you are testimony to how emotions affect our body.
Absolutely, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's they're 100% linked. I feel that they have an impact on all facets of your body, your physical health as well. In general. So it's good to find things that help you to manage your stress on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. And when it comes to supplements, how do you feel about supplements? Is it something you incorporate in your routine?
I do. I've actually recently brought magnesium into the mix just to help with sleep, because I find sleep also helps with reducing your stress levels.
Absolutely.
And then also like a B complex, so that it helps with just the overall health. So when you've got your nutrients and things in your body, it helps you manage stress a lot better, I find.
Yeah, it happens to me as well. Stressful periods also almost feels like my body run down. Yes. Like I'm not getting the same energy. My skin responds. My hair doesn't have the same glow to it. So it's almost like stress eats away your vitamins and minerals in your body.
It does, yes. Yeah. And it has a knock-on effect on your immune system as well, which I found I've been struggling with a lot this year. So, yeah.
That's interesting. So do you plan? Do you know, for example, okay, this is a stressful week that's coming. I'm definitely going to be involving more of this and more of this. Do you do something like that?
Not specifically. I find it's more like an aftermath, when you don't really feel the cortisol levels increasing, and then you get like sick or something happens, and then you realize, oh, okay, I need to boost my immune system and help supplement my day-to-day living, basically. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Any tips or recommendations? Because I think I also struggle with anxiety, so I can really relate to that. For me, anxiety makes me nauseous, so it eats up my stomach completely. For you, it brings out the rosacea. So any tips out there for people maybe struggling a little bit with anxiety or things like that?
I think you need to take stock of what's going on the inside. I think if you just kind of push through what you're going through, it doesn't help. You actually have to look at what's going on that's triggering you on the anxiety level and confront that in yourself and have a look at it. And then just when you identify what is causing the problem, I find that helps to reduce the stress.
That's interesting. So it's like a self-reflective moment.
Yes.
Don't be almost like enslaved by these emotions.
Yes.
Just kind of take a step back, have a self-reflective moment.
Exactly.
Maybe take a bit of magnesium to help you sleep and help you do that process.
It's like you're going to cover all the bases. Cover like physical, like emotional, spiritual, the whole deal. And I think the spiritual side, if I can say that.
Yeah, of course.
Really does help because it helps you kind of get out of yourself and helps you see things a bit more objectively, as opposed to when you're immersed in your emotions and you can't actually see the forest for the trees, if I can put it like that, then it's harder to manage when you don't understand what's going on the inside. So
that's very interesting, and it's so nice to hear you talk about how your emotions and really just show on your skin. And I think that's something that not a lot of people often understand, and we don't often reflect about how our stresses, how our emotions can really affect our immune system, the quality of our nails, our hair, our skin, our overall well-being. So it's very nice for you to share that with us. I think there's a lot of people that struggle with anxiety, and overall anxiety has different effects for different people. Obviously, it's best that you consult with your healthcare professional if you feel that this is something that you are struggling with. But I think on a day-to-day basis, we all feel a little anxious here and there. So it's nice. Those tips are nice to take into account. Just take a step back, do a little bit of self-reflecting. I know it can be very difficult, but also giving yourself a little bit of the supplements that can help you along the way. Tell me, when did your rosacea started to act out? When did you notice that?
I think in my mid-20s, it got triggered right about that age where I started feeling like it never was a problem until then. I think it's also maybe partly hormonal as well.
Could be. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So when there was like changes that it started triggering the rosacea in my face. Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you have any other skin issues that you struggle with?
Not specifically, no. Yeah, it's mostly that. Yeah.
And tell me, for your skincare, how does your skincare look like now? What does your routine look like now?
I keep it as simple as possible because of the sensitivity and the dryness. So I use argan oil as a foundation for the moisturization. And then something with a hyaluronic acid with a cleanser. So there's like constant moisture being pumped back into my skin. And I found that combination helped a lot with helping with the dryness and also calming the face. So the skin, I don't get it as much anymore since I made that change.
That's
really
wonderful.
Helpful. Yeah.
And what steps do you take for the inside of your body to bring that anxiety down and everything?
Are you meaning supplement? Yeah.
In general?
In general. For me, I'm a Christian, so I spend time with God, and on the spiritual side, I find that's like the ultimate for me to help with stress. Yeah, so just
surrender, right?
Amen. Yes.
We've got to surrender because we can't control everything.
Exactly, and I think that's like the biggest issues is when you feel like you can't control the situation. That tends to trigger anxiety.
Yes.
And it's learning that lesson is you can't control everything that happens, and just taking a step back and letting things happen. I think that's the ultimate, for helping with anxiety.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I think we can all relate to various stressful situations. I think it's wonderful to hear and have this reminder. We're hearing it. Surrender has become the topic of the day. I think surrendering to life, surrendering to motherhood, surrendering to chaos sometimes. That's how we we can keep afloat. The point is to keep going and be happy and be healthy. So thank you so much for joining us, Christy.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for joining in. Remember to leave comments, leave us suggestions, and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.